short agenda, as most of you have probably seen. Before we get started and open our meeting, I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Also this evening we have with us Mr. Tim Hahn, and Tim and his wife, Linda, founded an organization called Helping Hand in 2008, and they are helping the needy and have been doing that now for a number of years. They distribute food on Saturdays at the North Glen Village Trailer Park, located just west of 31 off of Wheeler Road. And it's quite an outreach. They have helped a lot of people, and we're honored tonight to have Tim with us, and he's going to do the invocation after we all rise and pay tribute to our flag. Join me, please. Okay. There will be an investigation. We will face to the northwest where the flag normally would be. Thank you very much. That's right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, Tim.
It's nice to be with you this evening, and thank you for coming, and we'll have a short prayer. Dear Father, as we gather this evening, we ask your presence and your wisdom and your love to guide us in leading our community. We thank you for so many blessings that you bestowed on our city. We are grateful. Help us as we seek ways to improve our town. Help us to strive for harmony in our endeavors to create a better place to live, where fairness, compassion, and equality for all of our people, regardless of race, creed, or color, or religious persuasion, ring clear. We especially ask in these troubled days to watch over all the men and women who wear our country's uniform, watch over our Westfield police officers, our firefighters who protect us daily with their lives, and in these times from each other. Help us all to replace hate with love and violence with peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Call the meeting to order. The first item of business on our agenda will be to note the presence of a quorum, please, Kim.
Jim Edwards.
Here.
Cindy Spilgeric. Here. Jim Ake.
Here.
Chuck Lehman.
Here.
Bob Horke.
Here.
Steve Hoover.
Here.
Mark Keene.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you. The agenda, as I mentioned, is fairly short this evening, and this afternoon, actually kind of late this afternoon, it got shorter. There is a change. Ordinance 16-24, found on the second page, Harmony PUD amendment, was withdrawn at the petitioner's request. It is still on. It is tabled and will be heard at the July 27th meeting, I believe. Is it 27th? 2 weeks? Let's try 25th. So we will consider that at the next meeting. So if anybody came for that tonight, it is just on hold. Other than that, the agenda stands as presented. We will move on to consideration of the minutes from our June 27th meeting.
Motion to approve meeting minutes from 6/27.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. At this time, we would open it to the floor for any guests that would like to address the council on items not on the agenda tonight. Have any cards?
I do not.
Anyone would like to address the council tonight? You're welcome to do so at this time. Hearing, seeing none, we will move on. We will consider our claims.
Move to approve claims as stated.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
I have one question, but I don't know if anyone's here that can answer it. We're paying for an alcohol permit. Can I ask what that is for?
I can respond to that. Yeah, so there has been a lot of work done with the Alcohol and Tobacco Commission over the last couple of months. And originally, they were going to utilize one of the permits that have, will result from the census, which are only $1,000. It's a $1,000 application for the Grand Park facility. And so this has been in the works for over 60 days. The notice has been prominently published out there, and we've had one hearing and we'll have another one. But but at the last minute, the ATC changed its mind and decided that we would have to wait till October in order to get it. And the Jonathan Bird restaurant, it plans to open before October. And so the only other option is to utilize one of the 4 economic development permits that the legislature just authorized in its short session, and they're $40,000 permits. So you probably see a $39,000 claim. That's the other portion. We've already paid $1,000, and so that's the other part.
So Jonathan Birds will be using this license.
Not just them. It's Jonathan Bird, it's Uric Concessions, and any other catering operation that happens anywhere in the park.
But we retain it.
It's the city's license, yes.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Moving to old business, we have up for adoption consideration tonight, Resolution 16-118, reestablishment of a CCD fund. This was introduced in June, had a public hearing. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, it's up for a public hearing tonight, sorry. Brian, you want to go over that real quickly, and then I'll open the public hearing? Hit your mic.
It's a recurring resolution we do on an annual basis so that we can impose the fee of 5 cents on every $100 AV for a cum cap fund. It's been ongoing for well over 10 years. It's necessary to readopt the resolution annually. It's sent down to DLGF, who will then authenticate the tax. It's required for a public hearing tonight before adoption.
It may be the first indication the budget process is here. Usually is. Thank you. All right. As mentioned, it is up for a public hearing. Let me get my little clock going. At 7:10, I will open the public hearing on item number 16-118. Do we have any cards?
I do not, sir.
Does anyone in the audience wish to speak to Resolution 16-118, reestablishment of a CCD fund? Hearing, seeing none, no response. I will close the public hearing. Thank you. Okay, moving to our action. It is up for adoption consideration tonight. Is there a motion to that effect, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to ordinance 16-14, this comes under new business. No, I'm sorry, this is under old business. Open Doors PUD District. This was introduced May 9th, had a public hearing at the APC. They heard it, came with a recommendation on July 5th, I believe. Kevin?
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council, good evening. For the record, Kevin Todd with the Economic and Community Development Department. This item before you is the Open Doors Plan Unit Development, which is a new PUD which allows the Open Doors organization to move their operation to the site located at the Monon Trails Elementary School campus, which is identified in your packet. As mentioned, this item was introduced before the City Council at your May 9th meeting, received a public hearing at the Plan Commission on June 6th, and received a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission at their July 5th meeting. Since the introduction, there's been a few modifications made to the proposal. One is that there is a brick wainscot added to the south facade of the building, and the second modification is that the monument sign provision was modified to allow the sign on either Tomlinson Road or on the Open Door site itself. Originally, the proposal was just contemplated that the sign would be located on Tomlinson Road. The petitioner's representative, Mr. John Dobashewitz, is here this evening in the event you have any questions. And at this time, staff would recommend approval of this proposal this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. This is up for adoption consideration. Is there a motion relating to ordinance 16-14, please?
So move.
Move for approval, is that correct?
Correct.
Second.
Thank you. Open for discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
As mentioned, the Harmony PUD will continue, and under new business, we have the Park Street PUD District. Jesse,
Yeah,
welcome.
good evening, President, members of the council. For the record, Jesse Pullman with the Economic and Community Development Department. This item is the introduction of an ordinance to be known as the Park Street Plan Unit Development, filed by Bob Beauchamp. The subject properties include 226 and 228 Park Street, which are two existing residential structures located on the north side of Park Street, across from the Italian House and the rail. The properties are currently zoned MF1, and the PUD would allow for the adaptive reuse of the properties consistent with the current transitions that are occurring in the Park Street corridor and consistent with the recently adopted Grand Junction Subdistrict Addendum. The concept and landscape plans that are included with your agenda and the ordinance reflect the character and the immediate plans for 228 Park Street, which over the last several months you may have seen has received a lot of improvement with the property cleanup. And the cleanup is in anticipation to accommodate a proposed restaurant that will be similar in character to what the petitioner has already done across the street. The 226 Park Street parcel is still being used as residential, but the inclusion of that property within this PUD will allow for the future conversion and adaptive reuse to be consistent with the adjacent properties. The draft ordinance that's in front of you pulls in the concepts and the recommended guidelines from the subdistrict addendum into this ordinance as standards. Tonight, this item is simply in front of you for introduction, and it's scheduled for its public hearing at the August 1st Plan Commission meeting. The petitioner does not intend to make a presentation this evening, but if you have any questions of him, he is available, and I'm also available if you have any questions of our department this evening. Thank you.
As noted, this is an introduction this evening. Are there any comments or concerns from the council before we send it ahead?
Just one, sorry. Why was the GB chosen as the underlying zoning? I'm a little bit concerned about that. It didn't have too many restrictions on that either. Is there a reason we didn't choose like LB?
I can look at the use list to see if it really makes a substantial difference. The other properties in that corridor that have already developed their zone GB, I think most of the standards that were pulled in from the addendum address probably what you're concerned about with regard to it does prohibit the drive-through, so auto-dominated uses will be prohibited. And then limitations on the size of tenants and the number of tenants within a given building limited as well. And then the site's tied to the concept plan. So I think those parameters probably address a lot of the common issues we deal with when we're trying to restrict uses. But we can definitely go back and look at it. If there's any specific use that's in the GB district that you're concerned about, I'm sure Mr. Beauchamp would be more than happy to consider restricting those. The priority right now is just accommodating the restaurant use.
Okay, thank you.
Jesse, are they just the two properties that are outlined in green?
Today, yes,
That's it?
yes.
Okay.
Any other comments? Unless there's objection, this will just move on as scheduled. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We have an appointment to make. We have established, or we are in the process of establishing a liquor license review committee. I think that we touched on it briefly a few minutes ago, right? Briefly?
Correct.
There you go. One of those appointments falls into the council's responsibilities. So we are here tonight to make that appointment. We did talk about it, ask a couple people. I think that Dr. Keene volunteered. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
You did? Without objection, you will do it? There you go. All right. Cindy also expressed some interest as well, and I'm sure any of us are qualified to do it. It could be a short-term stint, is that correct, Matt?
That's correct.
Depending on circumstances?
Yeah, there are essentially 4 licenses that this group would have anything to do with, and one of them, unless something unforeseen happens, would be allocated to the Grand Park campus. So there's really only 3 other permits, and I think one of them is, we've already received an application from somebody that's sitting in the front row of your audience for a new project that was just proposed, so.
So we're halfway through?
Yes.
We're half exhausted?
Yes.
It's not Jesse.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Jesse.
All right. Is there, we do need a motion and we will put this ordinance in effect. I think we'll vote, Brian, do we vote on the ordinance first, or do we?
The ordinance is passed.
Is it passed? So we just need to make the appointment, is that correct? All right. Is there a motion to that effect, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move we appoint Mark Keene to this
Got it? Okay.
body.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you. Any comments, discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you, Dr. Keene. Pass those out with great responsibility.
And a short-term appointment.
Short-term appointment, thank you. That does conclude our items on the agenda tonight. As I look at the clock, we could make this a near record, I think. We are open for council comments, so if one of you wants to drag it out, have at it.
I'm going to drag it out, and I want to say it before Steve takes 25 minutes to go over the Plan Commission agenda, but I think we should give a shout-out to Melody and to Joel and to Joe for the work that they did out at the Grand Park to Westfield Rocks the Fourth. And of course, that includes all of their people in their departments, but I have to say that the fireworks was phenomenal, the fire department presence was great, but getting out of there took me 2 minutes longer to get home than it did to get into the park, and that was just absolutely incredible. So the planning that went into traffic control, I hope they have the same thing tomorrow night to get people out and in.
I can give an update of our APC meeting. So we had a long meeting.
You have a minute.
We did give a positive recommendation to the Open Doors PUD, which we addressed this evening. We had public hearings on the Harmony PUD district amendment for the apartment area and the detailed development plan, which was continued this evening. We had a public hearing on Liberty Ridge PUD District and an accompanying development plan and site plan. We had a public hearing for a Primrose School addition. Development plan, we had a public hearing for a development plan for Freddy's Frozen Custard. A development plan public hearing for Crew Car Wash, which wants to add a canopy. And public hearing for the PUD for Big Hoffa's restaurant and adjoining land. That's it.
Thank you.
Chuck, I have one thing.
Sure.
It's about fireworks, and obviously, we just got done with the 4th of July. As is the usual, we get a fair number of complaints about our fireworks, but our ordinance is already pretty darn restrictive, and we basically use the state's minimum that they'll allow us to do. However, in talking with some other municipal officials around the state, there seems to be some interest in trying to get IAC to make some changes to that. So just wanted to let you guys know that that is in the works by several municipalities. So if we want to get in on that, we can be talking to IAC. Thanks.
Thank you. That does conclude our agenda items. I would note that, as mentioned, tomorrow night at Grand Park at the Event Center, there is an event. Staff has been working diligently for days on potential soft openings and, getting some details worked out, but it appears that tomorrow night may be slightly more than a soft opening. We'll see how many people turn out, but in case you're not aware, the supposed Republican presidential nominee, Donald Trump, has contacted our fair city, his staff has, and there is now an event planned at the Event Center, I believe tomorrow night. The general agenda, I believe, calls for a 7:30 start time. So we'll see how all that goes. It is open to the public, I believe. I believe there's a website where you can go and sign up for clearance, I believe. In fact, it's kind of cool. On the national website, there's an event that says Westfield, Indiana, which is really kind of cool. So you could go do that. If nothing else, you could get to see the inside of the building, get a kind of a sneak preview. Melody, how many people do you think we had at Rocks the Fourth, just roughly?
I talked with Ryan Fisher, who does all the groundwork and stuff for Brightview, and he estimated 20,000 based on parking and just his surveying of the crowd. He based that on all the soccer fields and everything else that were occupied. So I'm going with that. And I just thank you, Mark, for your kind words, but I just have to, thanks for giving me just a second to say, I want to thank everybody that was involved. Grand Parks team was amazing. We could have never done it with all those guys pulling together. Public Works support. Kevin Todd was out there with me at 2:30 in the morning on Tuesday, still getting her done. Thanks, Matt, for letting me have every year after year. We had about 95 volunteers. A lot of that were church groups, the kids area. Lions Club stepped up as always to do the car show, and then just multiple individuals. This year, it truly did take a village. It was so much bigger than we've ever done in the past, and so I'm really proud of it, and I'm glad everybody enjoyed it, but we're back at Grand Park next year, right? So, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, I would think that that's a fair estimate. There were a lot of people there. What was really terrific is to see that number of people, the parking lots filled, and a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of activities. The weather held out, or after a fashion, but yet there was no, I mean, it certainly wasn't crowded. It was just a great event, and I would assume that we're probably pretty well prepared to take 20,000 people inside tomorrow night if they show up. So I think that even by the Trump standards, it's a pretty big venue to try and pack tomorrow night, so we'll see how that goes. So that does conclude our business, and unless there's an objection, we will stand adjourned before even 7:30. Thank you all for coming. Can't say that.
We got resolution to sign, claims to sign. Open doors. 1 to 3.
No,
Sorry,
do not. All we have, our name is on the list